If you're a man over 65 and you feel like your body just doesn't respond the way it used to, I need you to listen to me very, very closely. Because what I'm about to reveal today could give you back 20 years of vitality. Just 3 months ago, a gentleman named Charles shuffled into my office. He looked at me with those tired, defeated eyes I've seen on hundreds of patients. "Doc, I just can't do it anymore," he said, his voice barely a whisper. And that's when I knew I had to share this secret. I'm Dr. Olivia Grant, and with over 20 years of experience treating men just like you, I've discovered something that modern medicine often prefers to ignore. The very vegetable your own doctor probably told you to eat, the one you might have in your refrigerator right now thinking it's healthy, could be silently sabotaging your energy, inflaming your prostate, and stealing the vitality you value so much. Charles wasn't any different from the countless men I see every week. Retired professionals, active grandfathers, men who were strong their entire lives and now feel betrayed by their own bodies. When I reviewed his blood work, I found something revealing. His testosterone was on the floor, but his estrogen, the female hormone, was unusually high. This is a pattern I see far too often. I asked him about his diet, and with a sense of pride, he told me that on his cardiologist's recommendation, he had swapped out all red meat for healthier options. Soy protein shakes every morning, tofu in his salads, soy milk with his oatmeal. In that instant, it all clicked into place. You see, for a man's body, soy acts like an imposter. It contains compounds called phytoestrogens, which are plant-based molecules that mimic the action of estrogen. Imagine your body's hormone receptors are like locks, and testosterone is the correct key. Phytoestrogens are like counterfeit keys that jam the lock. They take up space, blocking your real testosterone from doing its job. For a man over 65, whose hormone levels are already naturally declining, this is like pouring gasoline on a fire. The problem isn't just obvious soy products. It's everywhere. It's a cheap filler. So the food industry has snuck it into hundreds of products you'd never suspect. The protein bars you eat after a workout, the dressings on your salads, the meat substitutes, even the bread you buy at the supermarket. You're likely consuming it without even knowing. Charles looked at me, completely baffled. "But doctor," he argued, "my cardiologist said it was the best thing for my heart." And he's partially right, I told him. What might be good for your heart could be quietly devastating your masculinity. The plan was simple. We eliminated all processed soy. We replaced it with pasture-raised eggs, wild-caught fish, and free-range chicken. In less than a month, Charles returned, utterly transformed. "Doc, I feel like I'm 50 again," he said, with a new light in his eyes. But the real proof came when his wife called me. She was crying with joy. "Dr. Grant, thank you for giving me my husband back." Those were her exact words. But now, I need to tell you about something that might shock you even more. The second hidden enemy is at the very heart of the American diet. We consume it every single day without a second thought. I'm talking about corn. Now, hold on, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the grilled corn on the cob you enjoy at a summer barbecue. I'm talking about the corn that has been ultra-processed by the industrial food machine. Let me tell you about James, a 62-year-old contractor from Austin who came to my clinic complaining of aching joints, a fatigue that never let up, and something he admitted with shame: erectile dysfunction for the past 2 years. When I asked about his diet, he proudly told me he'd switched from butter to margarine and from olive oil to vegetable corn oil because the label said 0 cholesterol. "Doc," he said frustrated, "I'm doing everything right, but I feel worse every year." The problem is that processed corn, the high fructose corn syrup in your sodas, the refined corn oil in your pantry, the cornstarch in your sauces, is loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. Now, listen carefully because this is crucial. Your body needs omega-6, yes, but it needs it in a perfect balance with omega-3, like a finely tuned scale. The diet of our grandparents had this balance, but today, the standard American diet has us consuming up to 20 times more omega-6 than we should. Think of your body as a house. When there's too much omega-6, it's like having a small, smoldering fire in every single room. It's not big enough for you to notice immediately, but it's constantly damaging the walls, the wiring, the very structure. This silent, chronic inflammation damages the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your arteries. And here's the connection that very few doctors will explain to you. The endothelium produces a magical molecule called nitric oxide. It's the master switch that opens up your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow with power and purpose. But when the endothelium is inflamed from all that excess omega-6, nitric oxide production plummets. The result? Stiff arteries, high blood pressure, and poor blood flow to every part of your body, including, yes, the penis. For James, we cut out all refined vegetable oils. We dramatically increased his omega-3 intake with wild-caught salmon, sardines, and a high-quality fish oil supplement. Within a month, his joint pain had subsided, but the most telling sign came when he called me one morning, his voice filled with disbelief. "Doc, you're not going to believe this. For the first time in 2 years, I woke up with a morning erection." That is the clearest biological signal that your vascular health is improving. If this is making sense to you, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps get this information out to more men who need to hear it. Now, the third enemy is the most paradoxical because everyone thinks it's the epitome of health. Spinach. Specifically, large quantities of raw spinach. Michael, a 67-year-old fitness enthusiast from Florida, was a perfect example. Every single morning, without fail, he would blend a huge green smoothie with nearly a pound of raw spinach, thinking he was giving his body a cocktail of nutrients. But he felt progressively weaker. His libido had vanished, and when we ran his labs, we found something strange. His testosterone was low, but more surprisingly, his zinc levels were rock bottom. This was despite him eating zinc-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and meat. So where was all that zinc going? The culprit has a name: oxalates. Raw spinach is one of the highest sources of oxalates on the planet. These oxalates act like little thieves in your gut. They bind to zinc, calcium, and magnesium and drag them out of your body before you can absorb them. With every sip of his super healthy smoothie, Michael was literally flushing the single most important mineral for his masculinity down the drain. Because for a man, zinc is pure gold. It's fundamental for producing testosterone, for prostate health. In fact, the prostate contains more zinc than any other tissue in the body. And for sperm production. Without enough zinc, your body simply cannot function as a man. Research from the American Urological Association has consistently linked zinc deficiency to an increased risk of prostate issues. But wait, I'm not telling you to stop eating spinach. Spinach is wonderful, packed with magnesium and other nutrients. The problem isn't the what, it's the how. By simply cooking it, sautéing it for just 2 or 3 minutes, you drastically reduce the oxalate content. This simple act liberates the minerals, allowing your body to finally absorb them. When Michael swapped his raw smoothie for a morning omelet with sautéed spinach, his zinc and testosterone levels began to climb. In just a few weeks, his strength returned, his mood improved, and yes, other things improved as well. Now that you know these 3 hidden enemies on your plate, let me reveal something even more powerful. The 3 vegetables I consider absolutely essential for men over 65. They aren't exotic or expensive, In fact, they're so common that most people overlook them. But when you use them correctly, they will become your greatest allies. Our first hero is the undisputed champion of circulation, the beet. If poor circulation and high blood pressure are your enemies, the beet is your personal army. You see, beets are one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates. Don't confuse these with the harmful nitrates in processed meats. These are completely different. When you eat beets, your body converts these natural nitrates into that magical molecule, nitric oxide. Remember nitric oxide? It's what relaxes and expands your blood vessels. It's like turning a kinked garden hose into a powerful fire hose.
A landmark study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that beet juice can significantly reduce blood pressure in a matter of hours. But here's the detail nobody tells you. How you consume it is everything. The canned or pickled beets you find in the supermarket have lost most of their power. The extreme heat of the canning process destroys their beneficial nitrates. Worse, the pickling process overloads them with sodium, counteracting the very benefit you're seeking. To get their full power, you need fresh beets, grated into a salad, lightly roasted in the oven, or steamed. That is the key to unlocking their circulatory potential.
Our second hero comes with a specific instruction manual. Broccoli. But not just any broccoli. It has to be prepared correctly or you're wasting your time. True masculine vitality isn't just about having more testosterone, it's about keeping excess estrogen in check. As men age, especially with increased body fat, they can convert more of their testosterone into estrogen. Broccoli, along with its cousins cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, contains a revolutionary compound called sulforaphane. This substance is like a specialized cleanup crew for your liver. It helps your liver detoxify and eliminate excess estrogen from your body, naturally creating a more favorable hormonal environment for your testosterone to thrive. It also reduces systemic inflammation, which is a key factor in protecting your prostate health. But here's the catch. Sulforaphane is extremely delicate. If you boil broccoli until it's soft and lifeless, or worse, blast it in the microwave, you are destroying this therapeutic component. What you're left with is fiber, yes, but without the protective power your body needs. I remember when James told me he ate broccoli every night. "How do you prepare it?" I asked. "I pop it in the microwave for 5 minutes until it's really soft," he said. Without knowing it, he was annihilating the very nutrient he needed most. The correct way is to steam it for a maximum of 3 to 4 minutes. It should be bright green and still have a crisp crunch. You can even eat it raw with a healthy dip like hummus. It's a small change, but for a man over 65, these small habits are what build or destroy your health. By the way, I'm curious, how do you usually cook your broccoli? Drop a comment below. Let's see if we can save some more sulforaphane together. This brings us to our third hero, the silent guardian of your testosterone. Mushrooms. Yes, the common white button mushrooms you find in any grocery store. They are so much more than a pizza topping. They are a natural pharmacy for your hormonal well-being. Let me go back to Michael, the runner from Florida. Even though his zinc levels improved after he started cooking his spinach, he still felt something was missing. His competitive drive, his libido, they weren't at 100% yet. He was missing one piece of the puzzle. That piece was combating a sly enzyme that becomes more active with age. It's called aromatase. Think of aromatase as a testosterone thief. Its job is to convert your precious testosterone into estrogen. With age, and especially if there's extra abdominal fat, this enzyme's activity ramps up. It's literally stealing your testosterone and turning it into a female hormone before you can use it. This is where mushrooms shine. Research from the Beckman Research Institute has shown
that common white button mushrooms contain natural aromatase inhibitors. They don't boost testosterone production. They act as bodyguards. They protect the testosterone you already have, preventing that FEEF enzyme from converting it into estrogen. This means more of your testosterone stays in your blood as free, active testosterone, ready to give you vitality, libido, mental clarity, and muscle mass. When I instructed Michael to add mushrooms sautéed with garlic and olive oil to his meals a few times a week, the final piece clicked into place. He called me a month later. There was a new depth in his voice. "This is it, Doc," he said. "The drive is back." It's not a frantic energy. It's a calm, confident strength I haven't felt in over 10 years. But as I promised at the beginning, I have a bonus tip for those of you who have stuck with me this far. Something that will supercharge everything we've talked about. We've mentioned zinc and magnesium, but there's a third mineral that most men ignore that can dramatically increase your free testosterone. Boron. Yes, boron. It's a trace mineral few people pay attention to, but science has shown it's incredibly potent. Boron helps to reduce a protein in your blood called sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. Think of SHBG as a police officer that puts handcuffs on your testosterone, leaving it inactive and useless. By decreasing SHBG, boron essentially uncuffs more of your testosterone, making it bioavailable for your body to use. How do you get boron? You don't need expensive supplements. Dates, raisins, and our good friend the avocado are all excellent sources. A couple of dates with your breakfast. A handful of raisins as a snack. Half an avocado in your salad. It's the invisible force that makes everything else work better. Charles, James, and Michael all implemented these changes. They all regained not just their health, but their confidence and their joy for life. Look, the truth is this: your body is waiting. It's ready to respond. You just need to give it the right tools. Eliminate those hidden enemies. The processed soy that unbalances your hormones, the industrial corn that inflames your body, and the excess raw spinach that robs your minerals. Add the heroes: fresh beets for your circulation, properly steamed broccoli for your hormonal balance, and sautéed mushrooms to protect your testosterone. It's not complicated. It doesn't require expensive medications or invasive procedures. It just requires intelligent choices on your plate. Every meal is an opportunity. Every bite is a decision. You are either choosing vitality or you are choosing decline. Age is just a number. I know men in their 80s with more energy than some men in their 40s. The difference isn't in their genes. It's in their daily decisions. Your wife will notice. Your grandkids will want to play with you more. You will look in the mirror and see the man you've always been. Strong, capable, vital. Not tomorrow, not next Monday. Today. Right now. As you're listening to me, make the decision. Go to your kitchen. Look at what's in your refrigerator. Identify the enemies. Plan to include the heroes. Charles now plays soccer with his grandkids every weekend. James regained that spark in his eye that his wife had missed so much, and they just got back from a road trip to the national parks. Michael sent me a photo from a 10,000-meter race he ran, celebrating what he calls his second prime. They all have one thing in common. They decided not to give up. They decided they deserved better.
they decided to act. Modern medicine has its place, and medications can be necessary. But the foundation of your masculine health is built on these simple yet powerful choices. Do not underestimate the power of correct nutrition. It is the difference between merely surviving and truly living. If this message resonated with you, if you feel it's time to make a change, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with that friend who's struggling, with that brother who has resigned himself to getting old, with that neighbor who thinks it's already too late. It is never too late to reclaim your vitality. Remember, fresh beets, not canned, steamed broccoli, not microwaved, sautéed mushrooms. Eliminate processed soy, reduce industrial corn, cook your spinach, and add boron-rich foods. These aren't just tips. This is your roadmap to a new life. The decision is yours. You can continue as you are, blaming your age and accepting decline, or you can take back control.
You can choose the vitality, the strength, the life you deserve. Your best years are not behind you. They are ahead of you, waiting. But only if you take action. Don't wait for a clearer sign than this. Don't wait until you feel worse to act. The time is now. To ensure you don't miss out on future health secrets, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell icon so you're notified immediately when I post a new video. In my next video, we're going to tackle the single biggest myth about cholesterol that could be wrecking your energy levels. You won't want to miss it. But for today, start here. Your body is ready. Your family needs you strong. You deserve to feel vital, powerful, and masculine, regardless of whether you're 65, 75, or 85. Age is just a number when you have the right nutrition on your side. Start today. Start now. Your future self will thank you for it.